Do you really need to waste your money on iron sights now that the technology on optics has improved so much? This is an important question, and something I get asked a decent amount is about backup iron sights and how important are they really? My honest answer is they are slowly growing less important as technology improves with your sighting solutions. Back then, optics were not nearly as good and reliable as they are today. But with that being said, I still think backup iron sights are very, very important, especially for a PDF or a purpose-driven firearm, something that you're gonna trust your life with and that you might use to protect yourself or somebody else's life. These are still electronics, they still have batteries, even though they have improved quite a bit over the years. Something can still go wrong, and if it does, you're gonna be really in a bad situation if you don't have another sighting solution with your firearm. So let's go over this in more detail on why I think this. I actually have a personal story where I was using my firearm and quickly realized that I needed backup iron sights, and that kind of actually really solidified my stance with backup iron sights because I was still kind of on the wall. I was teetering. I was kind of like, do I really need these anymore? Like, they're expensive, anywhere from $150 to $200, and they take up rail space, especially on some builds like behind me. I'll show you guys that rail space is kind of needed, and it really solidified the decision of yes, backup iron sights are important. But first, let's go over the situation where backup iron sights might not be that important. Real quickly, if you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button, and if you like my content and find it helpful, consider subscribing if you haven't already. A couple sponsors of the video today is Brownells and Ridge Wallet. Brownells, you can use code TA10 to save 10% off orders under $50 or more, and you can use that as much as you want. I highly recommend you take advantage of that, save yourself some money, and improve your build, start a new build, get a bunch of gear, ammo, all these things, and have fun with it. Another company is Ridge Wallet. They actually just sent me their black Damascus wallet, which is so sweet. I have seen these all over the internet. I've wanted to try one for myself, so I'm really excited to try one, and I've been actually looking for a new wallet. So this worked out, and black Damascus actually looks super cool on there, but there's a lot of different designs. They're running some really good holiday sales. They also have a keychain, and something I've been wearing for about a month now is their wedding rings. Really cool stuff. Again, they're having a great holiday sale, so check them out, and I really look forward to trying these. And once again, thank you so much to the sponsors of today's video. If you guys haven't seen already, I'm doing some really cool giveaways on my Patreon and my memberships here on YouTube. So if you're a part of those platforms, you can be involved in some really cool giveaways. I'm probably gonna do them quarterly, gonna be giving away some awesome optics. Just gave away a plate carrier, depending when this video gets released. It might not have been released yet, but giving away a plate carrier, a custom plate carrier, you get to build it yourself. It's not gonna be anything cheap that no one's gonna really want. This is a fairly expensive custom plate carrier that you get to build to yourself. And then there's gonna be optics, there's gonna be complete uppers, there's gonna be flashlights like cloud defensive, Surefires, mod lights, things like that. And if you're a part of the Patreon and memberships, you get to choose what we're giving away. So we're gonna do like votes and things like that to see what everyone wants to do. But it's just a way for me to show you guys my appreciation and thank you for all the support you all show me. So if you wanna be involved in those giveaways, go ahead and join my Patreon and memberships. And then let's get right back into the video. For those of you that are building a gun for fun or for plinking, or in the instance where you have like an LPVO or a scope where it doesn't really matter because it's etched, or like a prism optic or a Trigicon where it's not nearly as important because of battery failure and some other things with electronics. It is nice to have an illuminated optic, but if it goes down, you still have that etched reticle and you're still gonna be able to use this. Those are the situations that I don't think is important. So if you are somebody that's like, I just built this gun to go out and plink and play, and every once in a while I'll go out to the range with it, don't waste your money on backup iron sights. If that gun is not gonna be in a purpose-driven position. If you build a gun like this, where this just has a nice scope, it really doesn't have a whole ton to it. This is just a really nice mid-range build that I did, that if I needed something mid-range, I don't have a flashlight on it, I don't have backup iron sights, but I trust this optic and the scope that it shouldn't have any problems. If I drop it, if the battery dies, it's still going to work. Obviously, if you create enough damage, you can damage it. But you could say that with anything, that eventually you can destroy anything. You can destroy backup iron sights too if you drop it enough and damage it enough. So in this build specifically, I did not put them on there because I just didn't think it was as important. Now you can get away with it doing like a canted iron sight, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you want to do that, and I could have absolutely done that, I just didn't. But if that is your preference and you're like, no, I absolutely have to have backup iron sights, just throw some canted ones on there and you're able to use those and you're gonna feel a little bit more comfortable. Now for the instance in a rifle like this where you have a magnifier in the back and you're really not able to put backup iron sights because you don't have the real estate, you can get fancy with this if you want to. You could put iron sights up here on front. Is it the absolute best option? Probably not. I mean, you're not going to get the best sighting solution, but you can get a candid iron sight or something that will work on here. There are other options. You just might have to get a little creative with what you do, but the magnifier thing has been an issue for me that I was like, okay, well, I don't necessarily know where I'm going to put my backup iron sights. And even if I did put a backup iron sight, it has to be candid on this because this setup is not like a quick detach, but there are instances where backup iron sights might not make sense or be as plausible. So now for the story of the time that I quickly realized that backup iron sights were actually probably a pretty good idea for my rifle. So I was at basic SWAT school. So towards the end of this class, we did a simunition training where we used simunition ammo, which is basically like a paintball that you can put into your firearm. It's really cool. You change your bolt carrier out to a blue looking bolt carrier. You throw a blue magazine in. It holds rounds that look very similar to a 5.56, but they're blue. They're very clearly different, but they're similar. They're more similar than anything else on the market, like a paintball gun or an airsoft gun, but they're different enough to where you know, okay, this is a simunition round, which I should have some. I should be able to show you guys some here in B-roll. But then you are able to use your rifle, your platform, shoot it like you normally would, and it gives you really good reps and great training, and the fact that it hurts like a son of a gun when you get shot by them. So it also makes it so you're not just Ramboing into rooms. You have to think a little bit more critically and maybe make a better decision instead of like just running in and shooting the place up. So halfway through that, my optic died. And I was like, oh shoot, it was an Aimpoint Duty RDS, so a well-known optic, a very reputable company, and the battery died on it. So I did not have a backup battery on me. Shame on me. I should have absolutely had one in the grip of my gun. I should have had a plan for that, and I didn't, but that's how we learn. We make mistakes like that, and then we improve ourselves later. You better believe I have a backup 3 batteries in that grip now on that firearm just because of the position that plays. But then I flipped up my backup iron sights. Thank goodness I had them, and I continued the training for the rest of the day, and it worked. Was it the best thing in the world? Was I as comfortable as I normally am with a red dot? No. But I had a way to aim my gun, which is a good thing in a situation like that where you have to use it, but you don't have your optic anymore. So to quickly summarize, plinking gun, no. Purpose-driven firearm like a patrol rifle or home defense, absolutely. I think it's a necessity and something you should buy. Now, I will leave you with this last thing and something to think about. Backup iron sights are expensive, especially good ones. You can get cheap ones for $50 to $75, and will they work? Probably. They'll probably get you pretty close, but they might not be the best decision. But we're gonna base this off of the fact that a good set of backup iron sights are anywhere from $100 to $200. So if you go off of that logic and you're like, I have $600 total for a sighting solution, that is optic and backup iron sights, everything total. And then we're going off the decision that your backup iron sights are gonna run you $150. I do not think you should take away from your primary sighting solution to pay for your backup sighting solution. I think it is more important to buy a $600 optic that is well-known, proven, and something that you know you can trust, and then later when you have more money, buy the backup iron sights. That is just my thoughts on that. I would rather see you guys have the best that you can have, and then later get the backup stuff. Because hopefully, in theory, the goal is this will never go down, and that is what you're gonna be using if you have to use that firearm, not these. Hopefully you'll never, ever have to look at your backup iron sights ever, and hopefully your primary sighting solution always works. So I hope this video was helpful for you to make a decision if you should or should not get backup iron sights. That is just my opinion and the things that I've figured out over the lessons that I've learned, good and bad. Sometimes you have to learn those hard lessons. I'm just glad it was at a training than an actual incident where I had to use those. So that is always my goal, to help you guys make a better decision to be able to spend your money in the best way possible. If you're looking to help out the channel and things I do here, there's a couple ways to do that down in the description. There's a link to my link tree. Anything you use in the links does help out the channel a ton. There are some discount codes from companies I personally trust that you guys can use to save some money. A couple companies support me and the things I do here are Howitzer, Brownells, and Hold Up Display. Hold Up Display makes these racks. Howitzer is a clothing brand, donates 5% of proceeds to charity, makes amazing clothing. Highly recommend you go support them. And then Brownells, use code TA10 to save 10% off on $150 or more. Almost messed that one up, but you guys can save a ton of money on a lot of these products or backup iron sights, and you guys can get some for a little bit cheaper. So save a ton of money, take advantage of that code, and use it as much as you want. It is limitless, and I highly recommend you do. Other than that, guys, thank you so much. I appreciate you all.